Hey, Tom here from the Run Testers. In this video, I'm going to be doing a comparison of two daily shoes, the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 and the New Balance Fuelcell Propel V5. Let's see how they compare. Puma Velocity Nitro 3 costs £110 or $135. It weighs 271 grams or 9.6 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 10mm. The New Balance Fuelcell Propel V5 costs £120 or $119.99. It weighs 265 grams or 9.3 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 6mm. Thankfully, the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 isn't a major overhaul to the hugely popular Puma Velocity Nitro 2, instead making a few adjustments to improve the overall experience of the shoe. The biggest of those is a slight increase to the amount of dual density midsole foam to improve comfort, although this does increase the weight slightly. There's also a modified padding design that aims to improve comfort, specifically around the heel, and new power tape strips on the upper to improve structure and support. As with all previous generations, there's an impressive covering of the brand's excellent Puma Grip outsole rubber, meaning it can tackle all conditions, even lighter trails. The Propel V5 is New Balance's entry-level shoe in the Fuelcell lineup. Like the Rebel V4, it uses the brand's Fuelcell foam to provide a balanced ride that combines cushioning with versatility, although New Balance does tend to tweak Fuelcell to provide a different ride across the range. Along with the foam, the shoe also features a TPU plate to deliver a snappier ride and allow for picking up the pace, and a well-structured upper design built for comfort and support. The outsole design is similar to that found on the Rebel V4, with a generous layer of rubber to protect the softer Fuelcell foam and provide plenty of grip. So the fit for me in these two shoes, the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 is a very roomy shoe, it's a very comfortable shoe. There's loads of space around the side of the forefoot and in before the big toe. There's also, it's quite a roomy shoe all over, very comfortable, no issues at all. There might be an argument to go down half a size in this shoe just because there's quite a bit of room in there, but to be honest, I was absolutely fine with it, and I think the rest of the team were with this shoe, so I would stay to my size in this shoe. The Propel V5, it is less roomy than the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. I'm a size 8 in the UK, this is a size 8, it was absolutely fine for me, but if I had wider feet, I might find that it was a little bit restrictive, but I would stay to my size based on my average foot width. So these are two shoes that are going to crop up in your search if you're looking for a cost-effective, versatile daily trainer that you can use for a lot of your runs. You might be somebody that is fairly new to running and you want a good shoe that is relatively cost-effective in comparison to some of the more premium shoes on the market. You might be somebody who has a rotation of shoes and you want to have a daily shoe that sits in the middle of those that you can use to do all of your miles in and save your more expensive shoes. So these are those shoes that will crop up in that search, but they are quite different when it comes to the ride, and I like both of these shoes, but let's start with the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. Puma Velocity Nitro 3 is a shoe that we talk about quite a lot on the channel, especially Nick, because it is really solid and versatile. It has this really nice midsole, and the midsole is really the big difference between these two shoes. The midsole in the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 is really well balanced. It's not overly soft. It's got a nice bit of responsiveness in it. It's fine for easy runs. It's got enough softness in it for that. It's got a nice bit of impact protection, but because it's well balanced, you can pick up the pace in it, and it does a really good job. So it's a solid shoe if you're looking to tick off a lot of different types of runs at a good cost. It has a nice rolling action. You can do a lot of training in this shoe. It's really comfy on easy runs, but it has a little bit more responsiveness, a bit more speed, and just works really well for a lot of other runs as well. It's not the most versatile shoe in the world. You're not going to probably run a marathon in this shoe if you're trying to get a sub 3 or something like that. But for most people, it's probably going to do quite a lot of runs. And even if you're somebody who buys a lot of shoes, it's still great to have something like the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 because it just plows through miles, has really good durability, and it's just a solid shoe to have that means that you're not spending loads of money on a really good shoe, and you can protect all those shoes that are costing more money if you've got a rotation. Solid all-round shoe that really is very comfortable. The upper's great as well. Definitely the best of all of the Puma Velocity Nitros that have been released, and it's just got this fantastic midsole that just really the big thing that wins it over. The other thing about the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 is that it has this excellent Puma Grip outsole, which is on the majority of Puma shoes. Really, it's one of the best outsoles on the market. You can use this for lighter trails. It's that good at grip, it's that protective and durable. So it's just a really solid shoe that you can use for a lot of your runs. And it's still one of the cheapest ones you can get at the moment of the sort of higher quality running shoes out there. The New Balance Propel V5. I really enjoyed this shoe the first few times I ran in it. I like a really soft shoe. This is a really soft shoe. That midsole really feels soft when you're out running in it. First couple of times I went running on it, running in this shoe, I could really feel that softness in the midsole, and it felt like there was a little bit of bounce in it as well. And that was because the first couple of runs I did were relatively short. They were 5 to 10k runs, and I really enjoyed this shoe for those. Definitely a shoe that skews more towards the easy sessions, because as soon as you start putting more pressure into this midsole, it really starts sinking in and you don't get a lot back from it. So when I've tried to do intervals in this, I can really feel that midsole really squishing and not giving me a lot back. Easy runs, it's absolutely fine. I'm not really hammering that midsole into the ground, so it works pretty well. But when I'm doing an interval session where I'm running faster and I'm hitting that midsole dead on, it really squishes, and you realize that it's not that versatile when it comes to training. Definitely nowhere near as versatile as the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. It's a lovely, comfortable shoe that is a really nice cushion shoe if you just want pure comfort. But if you're expecting versatility and you want to do all your runs in it, you're going to hit a limit with the Propel V5. It really is a cushion shoe above all else, not a versatile shoe. The other thing as well is the outsole is actually great on Propel V5 as well. I've had no issues at all. Very similar to a lot of the outsoles that you get on New Balance shoes at the moment. Does a great job. There's a little bit of the softer midsole that is exposed. I've not made any dent in it really over 60k running, but I would be wary of that if it wears down more. It's quite a thick outsole on this, so I think it'd be alright for quite a while. But yeah, it's a good solid outsole on the Propel V5 as well. So really, it comes down to that midsole and the how much softness you want in your shoe, because that's the big difference between these two shoes. So my verdict on these two shoes, it's going to be Puma Velocity Nitro 3 all the way, just because it's better value for money. It's £10 cheaper in the UK for this shoe. You can often find it even cheaper than that in sales and on certain websites. And it really is one of the best all-rounder shoes out there today. If you're looking for a good quality shoe that can do a lot of your runs and have durability, have a bit of versatility, there's nothing that can really compete with the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 at the moment. It's that good that we often compare it with shoes that are 40, 50 times more expensive, and it still comes out on top. So it's really worth having a Puma Velocity Nitro 3 or the early versions, because the early versions are, I would say this is an improvement on the earlier versions, but the other ones are still great. There's not a massive difference in the different versions of the shoe. So if you can even get an older version of the shoe, well worth getting, because it's just a solid, reliable workhorse that has a nice bit of versatility to it and is very comfortable. The Propel V5, I really like this shoe, but it's a bit of a specific shoe. So it really sits in that realm of cushioned running. So if you're a runner, maybe you're a beginner, maybe you're a general runner that is never going to do intervals, is never going to go and race in the shoe or anything like that. You just want to go out, do your 5Ks, do your 10Ks, and you want a nice, soft, comfortable shoe to do it in that isn't as expensive as some of the cushion shoes that are coming out now that are almost getting to like £180, things like that. This is a great option. It's a solid, comfortable shoe that you can just tick off miles in enjoyably. It's a nice soft landing all the time. Just a very comfortable shoe to wear, and definitely a good option if that is your focus, because when it comes to easy runs, I would say the Propel V5 is better. But overall, I would say that if push came to shove, the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 is the better option all the way. It's a bit cheaper and it's significantly better, even more than some of the more expensive shoes out on the market at the moment. There are lots of other shoes that you could look at as well as these, but the main one for me, which I'm testing at the moment, is the Adidas Adizero SL2. Now the SL2 is a really nice shoe. It is very similar to Puma Velocity Nitro 3 in the way that it's versatile, it's balanced, you can use it for lots of different types of runs, but it's actually a bit more skewed towards faster, nippy runs than easy runs for me. So it's not far off. I think you could get that shoe and this shoe for the same reasons, but I think if your focus was something you could do interval sessions in, speed work in, I think the Adizero SL2 just just beats the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 for me. But if you want something that's a bit more comfortable and you're doing more easy runs, then still go for Puma Velocity Nitro 3. So definitely, for the purposes of this comparison, Puma Velocity Nitro 3 all the way, best value, and just a great shoe to have in your collection. So yeah, Nick will be pleased with that. That's it from me on this comparison of the Puma Velocity Nitro 3 and the New Balance Fuelcell Propel V5. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that little bell. If you're going to catch them below, you can find a link to our podcast, which comes out a couple of times each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.